Let's now continue with the assumption of Governor's Bill, where Senator Wamatangi, you want to actually bar the governors from spending county funds 3 months before elections if your bill really sees the light of day. And also the county chiefs will be barred from launching new projects, entering into any deals such as signing new contracts or securing loans. Briefly, can we just discuss about these bills and you tell us why? Why are you particularly intent on this particular bill?
Dibal, thank you. Briefly, on the bill, you remember in the year 2013, just before the elections, or rather just immediately after the elections, when governors were elected and they had to assume office, there was no structure or law in place that would have seen governors assume their office, get settled, pick on the duties and jobs they were supposed to do. And so what happened at that time was that from national government, a committee was formed through the Transition Authority, and each governor got some free 60 million shillings in which to use as a, call it a small pocket kitty in any way that they liked to establish the offices. And what culminated from this was that there was a lot of, you can imagine 60 million times 47 county governments. How much is that money? That's a lot of money. And that money just went to be used anyhowly, even up to today. As we sit here, as a member of the Public Accounts Committee, I can tell you there are so many county governments up to today who cannot account for that 60 million. We've tried it in the committee where, including Senator Halwale sits. Yes. And you hear all manner of stories. But what happened was some of these gentlemen went and bought cars, others went and bought suits for inauguration, others brought bands and orchestras, all manner of things.
Orchestras?
I mean, you remember, during this, I mean, there were traditional dances, there were cakes, there were water, and the 60 million just got blown off. You know what some of them were saying? That this money we were just given to go and start the office. It was not part of budgeting. It's not part of budget. We were not even supposed to account for it. Now fast forward to the scenario to 2017. And the question that I asked myself as I came up with this bill is, are we going to have a repeat scenario whereby now we are going to say expenses have gone higher, so other than 60 million, we are going to give governors another now 100 million to go and now assume office again? And so that's how I came up with a bill to ensure that we have a system. That system will ensure that 90 days to the day when we have the election and a governor exits office, that governor will be required by law. One, there will be a system set in place whereby a committee of people who are working within the county government, others outside the county government, and within the county administration, all put together will form a committee, a transition committee. And this committee will start to oversee, one, the handover from the governor who is sitting of all the assets and liabilities of that county that are with that governor. Because for the last 4 years, this governor has received money, public money, which they have sent out or rather expended in projects in other areas. They should be able to account and say, the money I received in 2013-14, this is what I did. 15 and so on until 16 and 17.
Right, but
all let me just finalize. Yes. All assets acquired then will be entered into the assets and liability register. Two, you remember all these governors also got hold of all the assets that belonged to the defunct local authorities, from prime properties and so on. And these are also supposed to be in this assets register. So those 90 days, this register of assets and the liabilities showing that this is what I committed this county to. I took this loan, I committed here, I have these debts that I have not paid. These people, all those should be entered. Now when that register is surrendered to this committee, that is where we are saying, as Senate and through my bill, which I have sponsored, that after that register has been received and closed, saying that this is what you can audit me for, that governor cannot again pretend that they have now received another disbursement, and when this register is closed, they run to say, I want to start another road, or I want to start another. Because what will be happening is, if you allow this window to happen just before the election, all the monies, and remember we have brought the budget forward. So disbursements are going to start happening right away after passing of this budget. So you'll have somebody 90 days to that day would be calling for disbursements from Treasury for 2 billion. 90 days to the election, and they could say, I want to go and spend $1 billion of this money to go and start a project.
All right, thank you. But already...
And a big amount of that money we must protect so that it does not go to campaigning for governance. We ensure that they can only spend money in the recurrent expenditure.
I'm sorry to
that is to pay salaries, to pay other wages, but on development, no.
Thank you. But already governors are actually complaining that this bill of yours is unconstitutional and it is illegal.
Yes. The complaint emanates from this one area. In my view, there is nothing, absolutely nothing. And ask yourself, what will a governor say that they want to do 90 days to the election that they did not do in development or new projects for 4.5 years? And the reason, I'll tell you, is because many people, and most of the sitting ones, I know there are some who are good, who are clean, who are all right, who want to go for a fair contest, but majority, they have been banking on the monies they will receive at that particular time, because some of them know that they'll not come back to office. And here you have a whole heap of money. Spend that money.
All right.
Vanquish any competition you have in electioneering, and if you lose, either take off or wait for court cases and use the money you have.
We need to hear reactions from the other panelists. Okay, Dr. Evans Kidero is asking, are you saying that the procurement law and other laws governing public finance will be suspended because of an election? Let's say from Boni Khalwale as we come.
I think let me start with Kidero, and I'm glad he's following us. Dr. Kidero, there is the Public Finance Management Act, which provides, Doctor, that before you award a contract, there must be a budget. And that's exactly what is informing Senator Wamatangi, that you are going to harp on that to this extent, that knowing that the budget has now been passed by Linturi and Jakoyo, you will now approach a contractor and tell him, I have a budget for this project. I award you the project, not you, Kidero, but those who are unscrupulous. Then you will demand Mulungula 10% upfront before the contractor moves on site. You pocket the Mulungula, you use the Mulungula to do the 10%. Oh. You pocket your 10% and you use it for your campaigns. In the meantime, you lose the election. When the new governor comes into the office, he now finds the problem of pending bills, because there'll be huge pending bills. And Governor Kidero, as you know, your county has a very big problem of pending bills. Yes. The county of Vihiga, a small county like that, has pending bills of 2.5 billion shillings as of now. Kakamega has pending bills of 1.2 billion shillings. So if this bill is not given life, then those pending bills are going to escalate. And it's going to become worse. When a new governor moves into office, you literally find it difficult to sit in the office, because contractors will be in your office every day. They want their bills cleared. All right. That is the problem.
Very well, Mbuni. And I think I need to add, if Dr. Kidero is listening, and understand that I think whatever, other than the aspects of constitutionality of the bill, in very specific clauses, because they may not be unconstitutional as the whole of it, then I think it's important to also ask even Kidero to do a reflection of himself and his county government. Because no governments live in succession. Yes. When you look at that city hall, when he took over, he must have met very many bills.
He did.
Which he has refused to pay. And Kenyans are continuously suffering out there. And this is what Wamatangi is saying, because you have put it very well, that no, we will not allow you, because you are in a looting spree. Yeah. And this is what is happening all over. When you, for example, if I had to give you an example in Meru, because we've been there, we have told people, you know what, because we are changing over this government, please, contractors, don't be duped, because many of you, we have a 1.6 billion pending bill, for God's sake, for 3 years. So if you've not been able to pay these bills, Kindero, you have many more than that. Munya us, Tunai us, people are crying all over. They have worked, Kakamega, everybody else. So why would we sit down as responsible legislators in this country, not to bring a law that will avert such a problem, and that, if not properly put in place, will create a lot of stress to our Kenyan public or investors who may be duped by this and governors.
Dibao, what would somebody do in 90 days that they could not do in 4 years or 5 years?
Or 5 years.
You know, they can steal more than they have stolen.
Other than theft.
Yes.
Other than theft. I know somebody who supplied medical equipment to Migori County about 4 years ago. Just 2.3 million shillings, which they borrowed from a bank. They have never been paid to date. What Wamatangi may wish to know is that on Wednesday, last week, and Thursday, we amended the PFM Act.
Yes.
And imported some of your recommendations. And I hope yesterday your president woke up and signed that bill. You know, as in it's law. We can't allow this. We can't allow what is happening in the counties. Really, I have been a member of parliament who is cited as one of the most prudent users of CDF. But before elections, they freeze the accounts.
Yes.
They do.
And then we do the audit.
Yes.
You know, and that must happen. If Rotich is listening, it is in about 60 days, you must freeze CDF accounts.
Yes.
So that we have a proper switchover. People, these governors, most of them, I know even the ones I thought are re-electable. The people are telling us they don't want to re-elect them because if they have done what they have done today, what if you add them another 5 years without possibility of another election? Because that's what the law says. They will milk this country dry. You know, this imagination that you are always going to court. Do you know the Council of Governors have spent over 1 billion shillings paying lawyers?
Yes.
What have the governors done to warrant defense by public funds? You know, even that is criminal. So what Wamatangi is trying to do, you know, Wamatangi, we don't always agree. But on this, I agree with the man from Kiambu. He's at least doing what the Senate has refused to do for 4 years.
We need to wind up with this. Also, we go on Senator Wamatangi, because has it gone for the second reading yet?
Yes, it's already gone for second reading. Coming for that reading.
But my question, please, is first of all, you also the bill stipulates that the governors are to be sworn in. This is on the first Tuesday, 7 days after they have been declared winners. So what is the rhyme or reason on you picking?
You know, that was an amendment. That was an amendment that was brought to the floor by one of our colleagues. That is Senator Mutula Kilonzo. He brought in a substantial, you know, argument on that and proposed the amendment. I don't think it does any big harm. But let me close this by saying to the governors,
yes,
as they listened to us this morning, if they have the interest of this country at heart, they have nothing to fear.
Yes.
This is absolutely talking about, can we account for the work that we have done for four and a half years, 90 days to the day, and we tell Kenyans, you gave us this money, you gave us this job, this is what we have done. Now, if you give us the job back again, this is how we'll continue. Now, if they don't get it, they will leave it to somebody who can pick up and carry on. That is how it works.
In fact, Senator Wamatangi, if a governor is confident that he is going to be re-elected because of a good job, he should welcome this law, because it gives them only a stop of 3 months, and after 3 months he will resume. Now, because members of the public are listening in and we don't want to leave them confused, let me speak to Kisumu, Bomet and Kakamega. In Kisumu, the governor went on, and the auditor has put the query, went on and procured drugs from a hospital called St. Florence in Kisumu, a private hospital called St. Florence.
Port Florence.
Port Florence. Port Florence, from Port Florence Hospital. He bought drugs from a hospital. A county government bought drugs from a hospital. When the logic says the cheapest place where you should buy drugs is Kemsa. So he avoided Kemsa, and now if a new governor comes in, Port Florence, which is supposed to offer medical services, will be coming to claim a bill for supplying medicines to the drug. In Bomet, Isaac Ruto has built a brand new stadium for 350 million, so he says, from scratch. And yet, when you compare with Kakamega, Kakamega, the governor is trying to renovate an already existing stadium for 1 billion shillings. So if Bomet can
Munya
put
has for 380.
Munya
has
has
spent 380 on Kinoru Stadium, and there is nothing to see.
to see for
All
it.
right.
So all this
Okay.
is all the more reason why we must stop these governors.
All right.